Hi everyone, Stormers here with another Company of Heroes 2 tutorial, or maybe not so much a tutorial, but this time some tips and tricks on how to get better at the game, with a couple of solutions that may help you stop losing squads and may help you promote better gameplay, make better plays all across the map, different situations. Hopefully these are going to help you out. I've compiled a list which you can check out description of this YouTube channel. I have put timings on as well, so you can skip to whichever bits you think may be best for you. Some of it you may know already, and that's absolutely fine because this video is supposed to appeal to players across the entire skill banding. So whether you're a complete noob at the game or a seasoned professional, maybe you'll find something here, maybe you won't. Either way, thanks for checking out the video. So yeah, for the purpose of this video, we're going to be playing against a easy austere AI. That's not because I'm completely trash at the game, it's because it's going to give me enough time to show you some things in a real situational environment. So without further ado, let's go. Here we are, our first game of today, and on the left side of Samoski we have Stormless. Oh wait, sorry, I'm not casting. We're doing a tutorial video, and at the moment we're going to just build some conscripts, and I think we'll probably look at, yeah, let's get the support down. Right, so as I said before, we're already playing against an AI team. The first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is something that people, I always see them complaining about it on my stream, I see it in the forums. It has been an issue for a lot of people, and it's never really clearly explained. There are some ways you can stop this, and this is unit clumping. Unit clumping basically is where your units go just by random clicking, really. I mean, if I just click to go cover by this wall, you'll see where this unit's going to go here. These dots, these green dots, mean that the squad is going to go here. And there you see they line up exactly where those dots were. This seems pretty straightforward, but so many people do just click like this and then wonder why when a rifle nade comes down, they wonder why that squad dies. That is a close proximity squad. This is not what you want in this game. Really you want to be picking cover positions that are a little bit further apart, and you can find them. You can find them all across. When you have dots at this kind of placement apart, you're not going to suffer from squad wipes. So really do pay attention to these dots, because if you're just one of these people that goes, oh, there's cover here, I'll just go there, that is a really bad idea. That is a clumped up squad. But if you take a little bit more time to maybe do this, then you're actually like capping the point here with 3 other models that are going to be able to shoot from cover. So there really is loads of things there. Now, some people have been saying, oh, but when I'm trying to place units behind terrain, it doesn't really work because you can't see it. Well, okay, there is actually something to this. So, if you're clicking, for instance, over here, you can't really see what's going on. Company of Heroes does give you the tools to get around that. What you really would want to do is just tilt the camera angle up a little bit, and then you can see all of the dots as they're going. The best is actually vertical, because you really get every single combination that you could possibly want. And I really do recommend, if you are trying to put units, if you're flanking or something, you end up fighting from the other side, maybe your opponent's side, you really want to get that cover right. And just clicking here like this is not going to benefit you. You do need to just tilt up a little and then place those dots exactly where you want them. The other units that really suffer from this, probably the ones that suffer most actually, are support weapons. So support weapons, as you'll notice, and loads of people love doing this, they just want to put support weapons in cover positions. Let's just say there's some units over here by this strategic point. You're probably going to want the MG to come here and then set up in the direction for you to do that, and you'd be thinking, hey, yeah, well, hopefully now they're going to be in good cover. What I would say to you is that this is an MG gun. Really, you don't need to be doing this, because what happens is when you're taking position behind small pieces of cover, I mean, even this is a kind of a medium-sized cover area, you're basically clumping up a little bit still. What I'd recommend, if you're really skilled at doing it, you'll see that you can actually spread out some of the units like this, which is a little better. because then the squad is in cover, but the MG is out of cover. But actually the best thing I would say to do is just park your units slightly behind the cover. So maybe like this, right? Now, you'll notice everywhere across the map that units are way more spread out on the dots when they're out of cover. It's only when you're in cover that you really get that kind of clumping. A unit that was coming from this side, you know, if they are firing across here, it's quite likely that some of their shots are actually still going to hit these cover positions. So whilst you're not actually standing in the cover, you may find that some of these units still don't take shots as they would do in this cover, just because of the line of sight and everything else that applies in this game. So, you know, there are cool ways to use that. But if you are suffering from unit clumping, and it's especially to do with MGs, I mean, really, just look at the dots. You don't want to be doing that. Don't even worry about the cover if it's going to be, you know, causing you that. Because one rifle nade, that squad's dead. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk to you about is grouping units together and using the tab key in order to use multiple abilities from units at the same time very quickly. Now, what this is mainly going to help you to do is create very, very strong attacks against your opponent. Now, let's just say, for instance, that both of these buildings are occupied by enemy units. As you can see, they were earlier. Now, what we want to do here is minimize the amount of time this takes. We want a very, very quick attack, and to do that, what we're going to do is we are going to get both of these units. Now, you'll notice they're grouped to number 6 at the moment, and I've done this obviously by pressing and holding control on the keyboard and then hitting the number that I want these units to be assigned to. I always use 6 out of habit, but you can use any number that you want. Let's just use 4 here for the purpose of this. If you guys don't know how to do that, basically you just highlight the squads and then hit control and the number that you want them to be attached to on the keyboard. Now, if you're anywhere else on the map, you can press 4 and it'll automatically highlight those squads for you. Double tapping 4 is going to take you directly to those squads, or at least the nearest one in that group. So what I'm going to do here is use the tab key, and the tab key basically cycles through the group that I've selected. You can see here where my mouse is, you have the 2 mortars. Pressing tab selects mortar 1 only, but not the second mortar. Pressing tab again then controls the second mortar. Hopefully you guys can already see where this is going, but using the hotkeys on my keyboard here, it's B for me as I'm using classical hotkeys. It'll be something else for grid, but it will tell you what that hotkey is in the picture icon. I'm going to, for instance, get both of these mortars to fire in separate places very quickly, and to do that we're going to go tab B, B click, and then tab B click. Right, so to show you how fast this can be done, I'm going to take them off hold fire, and then we're going to go tab B click, tab B click. Now both of these mortars are instantly going to fire in 2 different places. 1 and 2, and there you go, both of those buildings are now under attack. That's going to put a lot of pressure on your opponent to move his units quickly, and whilst his support units are moving, this gives you the perfect time to move up and attack. Also, do remember to keep paying attention to those dots on the floor, because as you've seen, they are very important. I'd also just like to add as well that this isn't just restricted to indirect fire. You could use it with grenades if you had 2 squads of infantry. You could, for instance, tab, I would use E to throw a anti-tank grenade, and maybe V to Molotov a building. So you can be really flexible with this. I find it's a little bit difficult with infantry squads, because it's going to be very difficult for you to tell which squad is which, you know, because they're a different order on the map to what they are in here. But indirect fire does seem to work very well, provided that you have them in close proximity. You can also add things like katyushas or artillery in this. It's going to work exactly the same way. Okay, so our third tip for today is going to be one, again, I've already used this in the KOTOR kind of beginner's guide tutorial on how to set up the game. If you haven't watched that, it's a 45-minute long video, so I completely understand if people wouldn't have watched that, but I think that this was a really important game tool. A lot of people just don't use it. Some people don't even know about it. Oh, Sorry about that. Some people don't even know about it. And really, it's something that's very, very helpful if you can be quick with it. So what I'm going to do here is tell you about the event queue. Now you can see that little trigger commands come up on the left-hand side of the screen here. This one says infantry under attack. Now these will pop up pretty much every time that anything happens in the game. And a lot of these are actually attached to audio cues that come through in your headphones. So if you are listening to the game carefully, this would be really, really helpful for you. Now, we just heard infantry there say sector is ours. Point captured appears on the screen. If you click on that, that takes you to the point that was captured. Okay, so what this does is this basically snaps the camera to whatever happens on the screen. Infantry under attack, it's this infantry that are under attack. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to send these conscripts forward, and we're going to listen for the audio cue in our headphones. We're going to see if I can snap there instantly. Now, if you guys don't know this, the space key on your keyboard automatically jumps and cycles through this list. So let's listen to what happens in our headphones at the moment. Infantry under attack, it's the mortar. We saw that happening. Let's listen for another cue. I'm going to send this unit into the enemy base. And when he gets under attack, we'll just be able to press space quickly. There you go, there's the point captured. Listen again. About to get suppression. Infantry under attack, press space, there they are. Now, what this allows you to do, if you're really, really listening to your headphones, and I do recommend doing that, it might be worth turning the game music down a little bit. This allows you to snap to things very, very quickly. As soon as enemies are revealed, there you go straight to that location. One of the most powerful implementations of this is if you're coming up against snipers, right? This is a really, really good counter to snipers, because every time that sniper fires, it's going to say enemy revealed on the event queue. Now when it says enemy revealed, you would just hit the space key and it would snap to the center of the screen. That is where the sniper is. As soon as it does that, yeah, you'll notice even though these units have gone away, it's taking us to this point. That is exactly where that unit was, where it was discovered. So if you have a sniper that is staying in a static position, that is going to tell you exactly where it is. And even if it's a 1v1, I'd recommend just pinging that spot, because then what you can do is grab your mortars again and just barrage the area, and it is a really good way of dealing with static sniper players, or at least bombarding areas where players are utilizing snipers effectively. So I hope you really find that useful, but the event queue is very, very powerful. One of the other things that it's very good for is mine detection. If you do have minesweepers on and you come across mines or demo charges, you will hear those units say, enemy mine detected. Now, if you hit space, it takes you to the exact point where that mine was, and whilst for other factions it doesn't matter too much, what it's important for is if you're playing against the Soviets, because hearing mine detected means that it might be a demo charge, and of course if you stand over that demo charge trying to defuse it and your opponent notices that, he will blow you up. So yeah, basically it's a very, very powerful tool for making sure that you're always in the right places very, very quickly. Okay, so the next part of this video is going to revolve around things that can really improve your gameplay, and this will either give you more enjoyable games because you'll feel like you're doing better, or it'll just improve your ranking if that's something that you're pushing for and are really interested in. You may find as you rank up, by the way, in this game, that you do get better games against opponents, because a lot of the low level games can be quite blobby, they can be quite clustered. So, you know, do try and aim for high level. You should always be looking to improve yourself where possible. Now, one of the best ways that you can get better in RTS is to minimize the amount of time that you spend doing basically base building things. Anything that requires building or reinforcing, you really don't want to be going back to your base to do any of that, unless you're actually trying to build a building, in which case, you know, that's fine. Otherwise, you don't really need to go back to the base. It's just a waste of time. What I would heavily suggest getting used to in this game is learning these hotkeys. Now, you'll probably know this already, but for instance, F1 to F5 here, you know, these are controlling the base buildings that are in my base. If you see on the minimap, These are highlighting white as I select them, but I'm not actually in my base. Now, because this game requires so much frontline attention so that your units don't come into bad situations, you're always monitoring them, you know, maybe really spend some time learning the hotkeys. So that basically if I decide, oh, you know, this situation calls for an MG gun, I'm going to press F3, I'm going to press H, my MG's building, and whilst I've got F3 selected, I can just put a position on the map that I want that MG to run to when it comes on the field. That's it, that's done. I don't have to think about that, I haven't left the front line, I'm in a much better position than my opponent there, I'm saving time. So this is a really good thing to use, and as I already said, you know, in RTS's, time itself is a resource, so really try to minimize that as much as you can. Now, what are the ways of getting good at this kind of thing quickly? Well, the best one that I can say to you is to do pretty much what I'm doing right now, which is practicing playing against AI without using any clicks whatsoever. You're not allowed to click on any of these icons at all. You would just be wanting to use the hotkeys that you can see. And this allows you very quickly actually to get very proficient with hotkey play. Let's just say this unit here, you know, they'll be running around, I want to build some cover, I press BS, it's done. That's how quick it can be when you use hotkeys. It's none of this kind of, oh okay, let's press this, let's position it here. Don't do it. You can see how much time it is when you can just go, when you can just grab the squad and just do that. Oop. I have no idea how that happened. What I meant is that, how did that even happen? I mean, really, it ended up over there. Relic things. It's like the last thing you want to happen in your tutorials is relic to get involved. Anyway, you can see how quick it is, you know, just to do. It's really fast, and yeah, use that. So yeah, practice against the AI, you know, commit yourself to a rule that you're not allowed to do anything that doesn't require hotkeys in any situation. Don't even try and save the game if it's going badly, just try and play better with the hotkeys. That would be the real way to do that. So yeah, do give that a practice. You'll become very quick at laying things, whether it's mines, whether you want to lay some mines with these guys. You know, it's just very fast. Okay, so the last thing in this game is actually regarding auto match and ranking up, or at least not ranking down so far. Basically a little description of how ELO works and how to get games of similar rank a little bit easier by kind of exploiting the ELO system that the game has. Let's just assume that everybody in the world has a rank already, and you only want to really play against people of your same skill level. Now, why would you want to do that? Of course, well, the reason is that if you lose, you don't want to drop too many ranks, and if you win, you want to gain a reasonable amount of ranks. Obviously, the best way to rank up quickly is to beat someone who is much higher than you, but obviously the chances of that happening, given that they are higher rank than you, are low. So unless you're very confident, that's not really an amazing way to try and rank up, and it's difficult because it's kind of very RNG with the selection here. But you'll notice when you start searching for any auto match game, you know, you may not find a game for the first 5 minutes. And what the auto match search does is it is basically for the first couple of minutes saying, I'm going to look for people that are, let's just say, within 100 or 200 ranks of this player. Now, if it can't find a game for you, if it can't find anybody who's within 100 or 200 ranks of you that's available to play at that time, then obviously it's going to try and find you a game still. It doesn't want you to sit there waiting, so it's going to extend the search band a little bit. Now, that means it may be looking for players who are 300 or 400 ranks either side of you. Now, at this point, it can go on and on and on until you're either playing ESL's helping hands in a 1v1, or you're playing against, you know, someone who is 1,000 ranks below you and the game is boring. So the easy solution for this, if you are dead keen to just play on people at the same skill level as you and you don't mind waiting a little bit longer, then just stop and start this search every couple of minutes. This is something actually that Momo, I think it was Momo for show, was doing on stream, and I asked him why, and he explained the reason. It made perfect sense. Wasn't really something I'd thought about before, but he's basically, when he was a top ranking player, the last thing he wants is getting paired up with someone who's rank 150 and then losing to them, because that would mean he loses a lot of ranks. So when you're a higher ranking player, you don't want to be doing those long search times. You want to be doing ones that are close skill to you. And I guess that's part of the reason why some top players can stay top players, is because they're not really ever risking losing tons of ranks through their game losses. So as I say, like, maybe whilst you're a low level player, keep that search bar going. But as you do start to climb higher, if you do get like top 500, maybe top 200, you might want to consider stopping and starting the search so that you're never playing against people lower rank and risking losing to them and losing a ton of ranks, because you can go down very quickly by doing that. So yeah, that's a little tip for you if you are interested in that. And I think that actually brings us to the end of the video. So hopefully, sorry, this end bit is a little boring. It's just the screen with my sexy faceplate. But hopefully you found something in this video that might be useful to you. I'm sure that there's something in here that you may not have considered before. Who knows? Either way, if it has helped you, then do leave me a comment in the comments section of this YouTube video. Feel free to send me a message as well if you ever need guidance on anything, but it's better to do it in public so that everybody else can see. Also, feel free to like and subscribe if you want more of these videos. I haven't really paid that much attention to YouTube recently, and I'm sorry for people that are kind of subscribers to me already, because I will pay more attention to this and I will invest more time in quality videos. But thank you for your support anyway. Before I go as well, I'd just like to say huge thank you, one, to Relic Entertainment, because they finally gave me this community map maker faceplate. I've wanted it for years. They said no, no, no. And thanks to Monolithic Bacon, I finally had a chance to work on a map and have a map implemented into the game. It's not actually implemented into the auto match or anything, but it has been used in some tournaments recently, and that's Schilberg Outskirts. So thank you, Monolithic Bacon and Relic, because I finally get this faceplate, my favorite thing in the game. And also to Rita Rush, who made me my own faceplate for my birthday, which is super cool. And I really, really like that. So thank you very much to Rita. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys soon.